welcome back to another video. I'm not unsure why my face is so red. It's quite warm up here, so don't mind that. So today's video, I thought we would try a new product. So I mentioned this in my vlog a couple of weeks ago, and it's a gel plate. So if you haven't heard of these, which is something I've only just recently heard of, it's basically, I think a while ago, I don't know when these were first started to be used for art purposes, it was actually made of gelatin. So nowadays they're actually made of plastic, so then they're not going to melt or anything like that. And basically you can use it to print. So think almost like a lino print that you rub your lino printing ink on and you do your imprint, but instead of carving it, you just use it as a plate, and you can add templates or stencils, that's the word, stencils over it as you paint on it, and then you add paper to it and you press on that paper and it will leave an imprint onto your work. So you use these with acrylics mainly. I was doing a little bit of research earlier, and they kind of are very good for doing strange backgrounds and implementing texture to your prints, etc. So I was thinking we could use this today to create a background or a couple of backgrounds that we can ink on top of, perhaps incorporate my style into that, or have a little bit of fun with. I think I've seen a few people do actual fine art with these, so it's quite interesting to find out how far we can push it. But it's basically you use acrylic paints on here, and I've seen people also use kind of natural things like leaves, etc., and have put those on here before printing, and it leaves the imprint of the leaf, or rather well, you can do both. You could add paint, put your leaves on, put your paper on, print that, and then take the leaves off and then print again, and it will leave a leaf imprint. So you can use it many times, you can layer over the paints many times, and it will leave different textures, different colours, etc. And it's really interesting, and I'm really excited to use them. So I think we'll get into this today for this video, and I thought it would just be something interesting and different to do on here. So I will put you on the overhead cam and we will test out and see what we can come up with, and then do a final piece at the end, I hope. I've been playing around with the jelly plate off camera, just creating a few, kind of seeing what textures we can create. So I've got kind of this layered look of various different colours. I tried imprinting something here, but I just don't think it was big enough. So I thought we'll practice a few more things on camera here. So I actually took some of my Cardi handmade cotton paper, and I cut it to kind of a rough square from an A3 sheet, just so that we have kind of the perfect size to print on, basically. So I just wanted to test out kind of textures and overlaying maybe some things. So I went into the garden and I found a few, ornamental dried plants, and I thought I'd try to choose things that weren't too spiky, and I'm going to overlay these over a layer of paint and just see what we get. I'm going to try 2 layers, 1 layer, and see what we can find out and what we can achieve. So give me a second, I just need to go get some paper. Right, so I have some paper. It's just to remove some of the paint off my brayer once I've put it on. I've learnt that I actually keep applying a bit too much paint to the jelly plate, so I want to just make sure that I don't do that too much and do it in thin, smaller layers. So I've laid out all the paint I want to use just over here, and I've laid out some of these. I've kind of broken them up so I have more usable bits, and I'm using Sennelier abstract acrylics, and I have some matte acrylics that I got in a scroll box, which apparently matte paint is better to use on these. I don't know, drop me a comment in the comments below if you agree with that, if you disagree, what your tips are. So I thought I would use all of that and see what we can come up with. So I'm going to move these out of the way, bring the jelly plate in. So I'm thinking I'm going to try maybe a little bit of green and a touch of copper for the first one. So I'm going to go a really deep green. So I'm going to go this green, and I'm going to do copper. So I want the copper to be the background, but first let's do a 1 layer and see how that turns out. So we just want a really thin layer of this. We kind of just want a little bit of coating. I think I'm going to blend a touch of another colour, maybe a little lighter colour, maybe a little bit of this olive green yellowy colour. Oh, some of these haven't opened yet. So these are just acrylic paints that I use for my acrylic pouring. So I have quite, as you can see, I've got quite a few colours. So one of you in the comments in the vlog that I posted that showed this jelly plate told me not to use anything sharp. So I've really tried to stay clear of that. So let's smoosh this around. I don't want to go too close to the edge because obviously my paper is slightly smaller. So I'm gonna. Oh, look at that, that's so nice. Sorry, I do apologise about the squeaking. It is a problem which I don't really know how to fix. So yeah, we just want a really thin colour. I just want to blend those colours together a little bit, like that, and then I'm just going to get rid of some of this excess paint off my brayer, like that. And then we're going to just lay over this, just over the top. Wait, that way a bit better. Yeah, let's try this, like this, and then we're going to use this brayer just to pick up that paint. That. As you can see, we picked up all of that, so that's kind of what we're looking for. It's very nice. We've got a bit of texture, it's not too thick, it's a nice thin layer, so that's what I kind of want to achieve. So let's do that again. I might not put the yellow towards the edge. I kind of want it to mix a little bit more, so let's do the same colours. Actually, let's do a bit of a cadmium yellow, so a bit more of an orangey yellow, because I think that will look a little bit nicer. So let's go a little, let's do about that much, just in the middle there. Just drag it out. And then that deep, they call it, oh, it's a phthalo green. Oh, you've slipped. It's a phthalo green. Let me just tighten you up there. So let's add a good healthy amount of that. This might be a bit too much paint actually. But we shall see. We shall see. So I'm just going to roll that. And then I'm going to apply, I don't know whether these are going to stick out too much, but I'm going to apply that just there, and then this one just here, and then one more. Maybe we just stick with the two, see how it goes first. And then we take our paper, I'm not hopeful on this, these might be a bit too thick. Oh, okay, so we do have that imprint. It's worked very well actually. We do have that imprint, but it's not detailed at all. So I'm actually thinking, see, I've crushed off all those bits, so I can't use that again, so let's be mindful of that one. So actually, I want to do two more things whilst we've got this sort of thing going on. So one is, let's remove the paint there. One is, I want to add a little bit of copper. Just over the top of what we've done here. So So just a nice thin layer. That might be a bit too thin. Let's add a bit more of that. So I'm hoping when I print now, what I'm going to get is kind of that green outline with like a copper in between and around. I don't know if that's going to work, but we will surely find out together. Just all about the experimenting and just getting a bit of texture in there is my goal for this. So as you can see, it's kept that leafiness in the background there, which I like. I like that look. So let's put that on there. Now let's see this. There we go. So you can see how it's imprinted the green from the previous layer, and we've still got that nice outline there because it left quite a thick amount of paint around them. And it's just a really nice, it would be really nice to ink over that now and embellish it a little bit more. So we might explore that a touch. We've got a little bit of bend in there, which is unfortunate, but yeah, I really like that. So I think mixing kind of that sort of vibe together, and we've still got paint on here, so we could maybe use that to our advantage here. I'm thinking let's layer a little bit more. So let's take, that copper's quite, I don't know if I like the copper, but let's put a touch more on anyway, like this, and let's mix it together with, what colour is going to complement that green and copper? What about a nice subtle purple perhaps? Maybe just add a bit of a contrasting tint to it. We're going to use the same principle. We're going to overlay. Now, I think I want to break these up. I want to have more individual kind of coming up sort of vibe to it. So let's have something like this, and then this coming up the bottom here. I just don't know whether these are just a bit too thick. I don't think it's picking up the colours quite as well as I'd like them to. The shapes rather. It would probably be better with some leaves, maybe, I don't know, something else, which I'm happy to give a try at some point. But for now, this will suffice. So let's use this piece of paper here. Okay. Yes, so as you can see, we didn't quite pick up the layer before it, and we've also not picked up much of the shape with this one. Like, if you look back at this one, we picked up a lot of shape from this circular, this one here. I also didn't hear it crack as much, so maybe I didn't press down hard enough. I don't know. So let's lift that off. And it has left a very nice kind of imprint into it. So I'm thinking, let's lift that. I do wish we had less of this purple around here, because that's going to create quite a look to it. So let's do a print over the top of that. So what I like about this is that you can do almost a reverse print of it, if you know what I mean. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. Almost like I don't know what the term would be, a yin and yang print, if you get me. There is a term for it, but I can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling about that. So let's see what this looks like. I think this will look nice. I'm actually tempted to do one more print after this, maybe without any more ink added. Make sure we get that corner in. Right, let's lift this. Oh, it's definitely picked up a lot. I can feel it really resisting. Look at that. That I really like. I really, really like that. I think that's worked really well. So it's interesting, you can get a lot from this, and I think I do really think there's a lot of ways to go with it. Like this, if you cut out this part here and stuck that in your sketchbook or journal or whatever you want, I think that's really nice. You get, look at the really thin lines it's picked up there from that leafy area, kind of like that. That's very nice, and I want to explore with that a little bit further. See, I've got some of these membraney parts that have fallen off. Let's see if you can see that. There. From the buds of the plant. So I think we could use that maybe to our advantage. And we've got this lovely texture coming off here. There's definitely less paint on there, but I wonder if I could use the remaining on my brayer here just to imprint. It's going to be heavy on the purple, I think. Like that. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to pick the ones that have a bit more of that spread here, and I'm just going to tease them open a little bit and see if we can get that to show a touch more.
One eternity later.
Let's see how that looks. Right, I don't know if I've just left that to dry far too long, but all I can say is if we take this off, it has left that as an imprint. Okay, so not quite how I thought it would turn out, not quite, but I really like this kind of look. We've got a little bit of the imprint going on there. I think it's good. I think I may have just added a too thick of a layer. I don't know. We have got a little bit of this paint left, so let's just do a third print on this just to see if we can lift any of that up. Yeah, I mean, it lifts it off a little bit, but I think it's just going to require a bit of cleaning to get that off. But yeah, I think out of all of these, so what did we start off with? We started off with that one, which we've printed over a couple of times just to see what the printing would be like. Then we had, which one did we do? Yes, so we had that one, and then we did where we imprinted some of those natural elements in there, which is very nice. It left a very stark white space where I could ink in those and create the detail of those, which is quite nice. I might definitely do that. Then I did the reverse of that, which turned out like this, which I love. I really love the fact that we've got that copper going in there. You've got still the imprint in there, etc. I think that's really, really nice. Then we did, again, another imprint, kind of taking off that other one. It didn't quite layer how I'd like it to, and I think it's just because I had thick pieces and it obviously didn't create the detail in there, so a bit less successful there. Then we did the reverse of that, which I think looks great. Again, we definitely got way more detail in there. I think it worked really, really well. And then we tried to layer on top of that with this last one, which I think you can see the bits. You can definitely see where those have imprinted in there, but maybe it didn't quite work as much as I wanted to. So we've had a few experiments there, and I'd like to experiment a little bit further, maybe with more elements or maybe just a piece of art. I've got a few ideas, so make sure you stay tuned because there will be more art to come. Right, well, I feel like I've reached a point where I've experimented a lot with this jelly plate, and I've come up with a couple of finished pieces for now, and I think there's just a lot more to explore with this. I think we've tried the layering, we've tried using natural elements as kind of printing blocks and things, and I think it's worked for the most part, but I would like to get some flatter items, maybe some leaves in autumn might be better when they're a bit drier, because I think you'll be able to see the veins of the leaves and things. I think it will make some really interesting textures, etc. But I feel like what we've explored today has really shown me what I can do with that jelly plate, and I'm really excited to use it in future projects. And like I said earlier when we were just going through what I've printed, you know, we've done a multitude of prints here, and I'm pleased with all of them. There's things that I will use. I will cut this out, I'll stick it in something, you know, they will be used. They're not going to be left just in the cupboard or anything. So and I think my favourite two are definitely these two. I really like the layering, I really like the detail we managed to get. Actually, it's quite surprising, and I think I really found these two to be the best. And I think, like I say, I'd like to explore it even further. And I mean, I might do another video exploring these things, or I might do it off camera and maybe come and do a final piece that kind of shows everything I've learned from it. So drop me a comment down below just saying which you'd prefer, because I'm happy to do either. And then I think finally, as you saw, I actually took this one with the white, the negative space here, and inked in there, and it was a really nice quick inking. It didn't take me long at all, and it was just really free flowing because it's all natural things, and I quite like the way that turned out. I think if you crop it in certain areas, you can really get some nice nice, what's the word, look, a nice cut of it, and it'll just be nice to put in a sketchbook, etc. Can't think of the words, but anyway. And then the final piece that you saw me just do is I just did a really simple print. I kept it really textured. I didn't want any crisp edges, and I used my Staedtler pigment liners, very, very good liners. I highly recommend. They are waterproof as well. And my Etcher Viviva colour sheets, just to add a slate black wash over the inking, and I just produced this little whale here. And if you've made it this far, then thank you very much for watching, and I am going to be doing a giveaway of this piece. So basically you can enter here on YouTube, or you can enter over on my Instagram at LucyLocksArt. The rules for YouTube are you need to subscribe, you need to be a subscriber, you need to follow, and you just need to drop me a comment below. It can be about anything about the video, a question, anything you like, and that will get you one entry over in here on YouTube. And you can also enter over on Instagram, which will give you an additional entry, and you just, over there, you just need to follow me, like the post, which will go up the same day this video is going up, and drop me a comment and tag someone. You do need to tag someone over there on Instagram, and that will give you another entry. So there's two ways of getting two separate entries into the draw, and you will win this original piece of artwork sent to you free of charge. So I think that's quite exciting, so hopefully you will enter, and yeah, that's it basically. So thank you very much for watching. Leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next video.